What's up, everybody? I know nobody really cares right now because we're all in Seahawks free agency mode, but I gotta fulfill my duties as one of the few Sea Dragon content creators on YouTube. They just wrapped up their fifth game, and I gotta talk about it for a bit. Actually, they haven't wrapped it up yet. I'm actually still watching the last minute or so, but the Sea Dragons are up by 15 points with about a minute 16 left. So the game is, for all intents and purposes, over. We're just going to see if the Roughnecks can manage a last minute score here. But yeah, basically, it was an XFL game. It was very messy, it was very chaotic. It was fun to watch, it was entertaining, but it was frustrating as a fan of a team that wants one team to win because you definitely feel like there's a lot being left on the table here. And mostly that's just because these guys aren't that good at football. These guys are not in the NFL for a reason. These guys are in the XFL for a reason, so they do the best that they can. And sometimes that is far below the standards of what we've come to expect if you've watched NFL football. And honestly, given the fact that these guys are playing with each other for the first time ever, really, before, a month ago, then it's probably even a worse standard than college football. But Sea Dragons get it done 21-6 as of right now. Roughnecks going for a garbage time score here, basically. And I, oh man, this Dragons team, you can see why they were the preseason favorites. You can really see why the Sea Dragons were expected to win the championship before the season. This offense has the ability to be one of the best in the country, or excuse me, in the league. Let me not act like this is college football now. In the league, like there are moments where things are just clicking, things are just working, things are going. We've got a prolific quarterback, we've got a prolific receiver duo. Like things are just going great at times, putting up big numbers, moving the ball down the field. And then you combine that with a defense that has been for the last two games now absolutely shut down. I thought the defense played their best game of the year by far tonight. Like it was so much better than even last week. And the defense last week was incredible. And you can see why people thought this team was going to be the best team in the XFL, but they make it hard for themselves, man. They make it way harder for themselves than they need to. That's the best way I can really put it here. They negative 11 turnover differential, even if you count the blocked punts as turnovers, -9. It's very frustrating, man. This game should have been over by the third quarter. This game should have been long over by the end of the third quarter. This game probably should have been over at halftime. There were so many opportunities for these Sea Dragons to put this game away, but you had the penalties and the turnovers. So mostly you would say the turnovers because you had two interceptions in the end zone, bad throws by DiNucci on both, I think. As near as I can tell anyway, they were both bad throws by DiNucci. You had the fumble by the running back when we were trying to basically put the game away. Like, the game was over. We were running out the clock. Everything was good. And then our running back just puts the ball on the ground when we're basically trying to run the clock out and makes it interesting. And you've got the miscommunication between DiNucci and Gordon. And it all just adds up to a point where we're sitting here. We played this whole game. We scored 21 points. Feels like we should have scored like 40. We had no problem moving the ball up and down the field. We blocked two punts. We recover a fumble that takes points off the board for Houston early in the game, by the way. Finally, this defense gets a turnover, by the way. They deserve it with the way they've been playing. They've been playing incredible football. And somehow, some way, game after game, week after week, we look up at the scoreboard at the end of the game and we're like, man, this team is leaving so many points on the board. And I'm sure we're not the only XFL team that is doing that. All these teams are doing stuff like that because there's a lack of experience, a lack of camaraderie, a lack of connection between these guys. But it's so close and it's so frustrating. Like our offensive line generally seems to play really well. DiNucci seems well protected most of the time. We have a run blocking's okay, nothing crazy over the top, I would say, but pretty good on that front. And you just add all this stuff up as a fan of one of these teams, and while the end product is entertaining, it's also just very, very frustrating if you're rooting for a team because it's so sloppy. And the good news is we're sitting here with a winning record. We're 3-2. We might be tied for second in the division when the week is over. We'll see. But we're sitting here at 3-2. And we just beat the team that has been probably the best team in the XFL so far, the Roughnecks. The Roughnecks were actually big favorites going into this game. They were expected to win by, I think they were like a 5-point favorite. So overcoming that point spread and winning definitively is significant. And again, I'll say it, we should have won this game by at least 30 points. The fact that this game only ended up being 21-6 tells you what you need to know about how sloppy this team is. And I'm not saying Houston didn't play sloppy either. They had 2 blocked punts. They gave away points on a strip sack on 3rd down. I'm not saying everything they did was great, but our defense completely smothered them the whole game. They scored 1 touchdown the whole game, and it was on a short field off the running back fumble. They overcame turnover after turnover after turnover. They locked it down, man, and everything's starting to click now. The defensive backs look good. The pass rush looks good. The tackling's improving. So it's great. But yeah, it's just a matter of getting right mentally, because these turnovers, they're really, really bad throws. Both of the interceptions in the end zone were really, really bad throws by DiNucci. It's the miscommunication between Josh Gordon and DiNucci on the deep shot on 3rd down. It's having a running back room that is fumbling, and I'm not seeing this from the teams that we're playing. So I'm not inclined to believe the XFL is just rife for a ton of different running back fumbles. It's not like every running back is fumbling a bunch. That's not what I'm seeing at all. So I just hope they can figure it out in time. I just hope they can figure this stuff out before the end of the season and get to the point where they're actually able to realize their full potential as a team. Because, yeah, after having the opportunity to see this team for several games now, I get it. The offense was supposed to be the strength of the team. The offense was supposed to be the best in the league. That's why people thought we would be good. Instead, here we are. And yeah, if the offense was living up to expectations, we'd probably be undefeated. But the defense is the guiding light. And that's with the offense putting up yards, just not finding a way to put up points. So they've got the second half of the season to figure it out. I'm pretty happy with the result tonight, obviously, but I can't say I'm happy with the product. Obviously, there's nothing you can say bad about this defense right now. They're getting a pass rush, they're tackling well, they're covering well. They get put in such bad situations by this offense sometimes, and they overcome it pretty much every single time. They made really one big mistake tonight, the pass interference in the end zone that led to their Houston 1 touchdown. So, magnificent game from them. They had to overcome so much, but I know that this offense has the potential to be leading the league in points scored, just like they're, I believe, leading the league in yards. And they just need to clamp down and execute, and right now they're just not. 30 seconds left. Houston still trying to get in the end zone here to at least make the end of the game a tiny bit dramatic. By the way, there was a little bit of drama after DiNucci's 3rd interception, yelling about getting Josh Gordon out of the game. I'm sure a lot of people who watch this game will have noticed that. I can understand the frustration. I can understand there's a lot of frustration on this offense right now. Again, they should probably be averaging over 30 points a game, and instead they're around 21 because they turn the ball over way too much. They miss opportunities to get points way too much. So I get the frustration. Hopefully it cleans up. Looks like Houston's going to go ahead and get this touchdown and make the last 24 seconds of this game at least a tiny bit dramatic. But I remain confident that we're going to find a way to get this win. See you guys soon. Go Dragons. Go Sea Dragons. Move to 3-2. Hopefully I don't regret recording this early.